This is Behind the Mic, local and worldwide. Interviews with the stars of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. A talk show that will inform, entertain, and take you to the edge, maybe even over. Now, from the Big Z studio in suburban Chicago, here's the host of Behind the Mic, Gary Zahara.
Thanks, Mitch. My next guest was the third overall pick in the 1979 NBA draft by the New York Knicks. Only one of three rookies, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson being the other, to play in that year's All-Star game. But a bold and controversial move by GM Jerry Krause to trade Charles Oakley and a first and third round pick to acquire the then 31-year-old center helped change the trajectory of the Chicago Bulls. Former Bulls center and five-time champion Bill Cartwright joins me behind the mic. Next.
Experience the power of advanced skincare technology at LA Tan in Lisle. LA Tan in Lisle is proud to offer red light therapy, the revolutionary red light technology that targets all layers of the skin. The 5 distinct red and near-infrared wavelengths carry unique benefits and maximizes the potency of your treatments, unlocking your skin's true potential. Embrace the future of skincare and discover a new you with red light therapy at LA Tan in Lisle in Maple Square. Call 630-810-5900 to book your appointment today. 630-810-5900. LA Tan in Lisle. Look good, feel good.
Brought to you by Slugmaster, turning batters into hitters. Log on to slugmaster.com for a dealer near you.
16 years playing in the NBA, another 12 as a coach, and now he's an author of his own autobiography, Bill Cartwright, Living Life at the Center. I am pleased to welcome in former Chicago Bulls center and NBA champion, Bill Cartwright. Hi, Bill. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
It's a pretty nice day out here in Sacramento.
All right, you got missed you at the book signing here. You came into Naperville in my town a couple of weeks ago. How's the book tour going out there West Coast?
It's going well. Obviously, we've hit some spots here in Sacramento, San Francisco, and of course, my hometown, Elk Grove, California. It's been really fun, and it's been a nice journey. We've done some book signings actually in Chicago, all over, South Side, North Shore, at my restaurant. Let's get this in, Froggy's in Highwood. Did a book signing there, so it's been great.
How many times do you get into Highwood to go over to Froggy's?
Every month. Get out there every month, and you're welcome to come on down too. Chef Terry would be pleased to see you, and it's been great.
I look forward to it. I'll have to take the producer if she does a good job today. So we're talking about the book. What inspired you to write this book?
Well, I think the main thing is that it's something I've been thinking about for a long time. You think you know your parents, your family, their journey, and when I started to get into it, I didn't know a lot. I didn't know where my dad went to high school. I didn't know how he got there. Didn't know any of his friends. Didn't know my dad was a self-made guy. So how did all that happen? How did he learn to work on cars? How did he learn to be self-sufficient? How did he end up in California? My dad's from Texas. My mom's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The same questions with her. How in the world did you end up in California? They both met out there. So just to think about that and write about that, talk about my journey, a kid from Elk Grove, California, ends up being Northern California champions, what that was like, ends up being on the number one college team in the nation my sophomore year. Now all of a sudden, a guy from Elk Grove, California is playing for the Knicks. He's playing for the Bulls. I'm playing against all the guys I grew up watching with Kareem, Artis Gilmore. Here's Dave Cowens. Here's Daryl Dawkins. So just amazing things that happened from a guy from Oak Grove, California.
You
Like you
grew up
said, 16 years, 16 years. So pretty cool.
you grew up in Walnut Grove, the only boy of five sisters. Explain that family dynamic. How was that for you?
Well, actually, it was more torturous. It was six sisters. So it actually helped inspire me to get out of the house early every morning. I was a sports guy, played baseball, basketball, football. Um, and a big part of that is that my dad grew up, it was a farm on a ranch out there growing up. He was a farm laborer, so you knew how to work. As a family, we picked tomatoes. As a kid, hoed sugar beet fields. In Sacramento, it's hot. It's hot out there. You got to work. So you learn what work was all about. The sports part of it was just, wow, I get to work, but I could be inside. So it was actually, really tolerable that I could just work really hard and be inside. So um, you just learn how to work. You learn how to work hard. You learn how to do more. And that was just part of me as an athlete.
I'm looking forward to getting that book from you. Thanks for sending it out to me. I did look at some excerpts, and one of the things you mentioned
Yeah.
was moving to San Francisco was like getting out of prison. Explain that.
Well, actually, we lived south of Sacramento. And just doing that was really amazing. Yeah, just getting away from the ranch and living in the city and riding bicycles and having a 7-Eleven to go to and friends. That was really fun. And then now, as I left high school, uh, I was independent. So I had my own schedule. Uh, every decision was mine to make. So I really love the fact that I can be an independent person and actually flourish in that situation. So uh, San Francisco was super fun then, and it still is.
You played several sports when you were younger, but obviously basketball was the one. Were you always tall, or did you have that growth spurt? I know you were like 6'7" at 14. Was it? Did you always play basketball, or was it that started freshman year when you really thought that you could play this game?
Well, every sport. I played every sport. I love to compete. So, and it was normal then that guys played. Now, not so much, but then, yeah, it was normal. You played different sports, and it was actually good for fundamentals that you learned then. And it was a lot of fun. Was I always tall? Yeah. I didn't really view it that way because I am what I am. So people ask me, hey, you're really tall. And I'm like, I'm pretty normal. So what does that make you?
You talk about dad being tough and the starting freshman year in basketball, and I also read that you got your skill and toughness from a guy named Terry Stoffer. Talk about that.
Yeah, Terry was a year older than me, and he and I were about the same size. So, but our coach, Dan Risley, who really just gave us a great foundation for basketball, fundamentals, footwork. Um, we'd have our sheet of shots to get up every day, and more was always better. Start on the wing. I'm sorry, start on the post, work your way out to the wing, quarter wing, elbow. So just a melee of shots that you got up every single day. So by the end of summer, you can make 9 out of 10 shots, if not 10 out of 10. So we just worked really hard, shot more than anybody we felt like in the city. And naturally, that wins to being some positive things and a lot of wins.
In senior year at Elk Grove High School, you averaged 42 and 21, and you pretty much put that school and that location on the map for high school basketball because nobody was really talking about Sacramento basketball. Talk about that
Well,
senior year for you.
senior year was great, but you know what? My best year was my junior year. If somebody says you can't win them all, they're completely wrong because we were 30-0 that year. We're actually a better team. My senior year, we could play for the Northern California Championship, and which we did. So now little Elk Grove, California, um, wins the championship. With the Northern California champs. So just a lot of hard work. Had great teammates, uh, really good coach that put us in a situation to make sure we're ready for anything. So it was fun. It was a lot of work, but it was fun. Probably more fun now than then.
And when you were younger, and nowadays, this is obviously it happens all the time where younger players get the chance to play with the older guys, some NBA guys, and learning some skills. With back then, you got to play with a couple of guys from the NBA as well, and learning those skills and playing with Terry, and coming home with split lips and black eyes and whatnot. Did that? All those things happen, did you get a little discouraged, or did you feel that it was molding you and making you tougher?
No, it was really challenging, and look, when you have a chance to play against older guys, wow, what a challenge! So you took it on. For the most part, you're victorious, but those guys just made you better. My cousin Michael Stribling actually went to Sac High, and he was an all-city player. He was big, 6'5", but he was a really good player, and I used to have an opportunity to play against him every weekend. So he made me better, and also by the end of summer, after playing against him, he's 3 years older. I could definitely take on anybody my own age. So playing against all those older guys was a big advantage for me.
So coming out of high school, you had those big stats. You had major college coaches. You had Jerry Tarkanian from UNLV, Digger Phelps from Notre Dame, Dean Smith from North Carolina. But you chose to stay home with San Francisco. Why was that?
Well, there's for one thing, I didn't want to go out of California, so that eliminated the rest of that pack. So I did look at UCLA, and you remember at that point in time, UCLA didn't start freshmen, which, of course, that wasn't going to work. SC went down there, and um, long story short, it wasn't going to work out there. And USF was, you know, they really wanted me to go to school there. I just wanted two things. I wanted to start, and I wanted my number. And they were very happy to make that happen. And luckily, we had two other really strong freshmen. One for boys, James Hardy, that came along with us, and it was just a perfect situation. It just happened to be the closest place to my house too.
What did Coach Bob Gaylord give you like a selling point, or what made you jump on his boat?
Well, Coach Bob, if you've ever met him, is a great guy. He played at USF, was a great athlete. Um, as a matter of fact, when I got there, he was the school's leading scorer for an individual game. Uh, Unfortunately for him, he had to leave me in, and I ended up breaking his record. But yeah, he was a great factor in it, and he also was his best advice I think that he gave me was um, I guess I was throwing the ball away in practice, and he said, "Bill, I know you play really hard. Now we're going to teach you how to play really smart." So I learned how to play with him.
So 3 out of the 4 years you spent at San Francisco, you got to the dance and Sweet 16 appearances, including that 29-0 team that fell short. What happened in that season? How frustrating it was, especially there. I'm looking at some stats here, and at the time, the 78-79 season, you had the tallest starting lineup in NCAA history at the time.
Well, we actually won the conference every year except for my first year. We ended up losing to Pepperdine, Dennis Johnson, and Marco Slade. But we always played great during the season. We always won the conference. We always had great records, but we did not, as far as I'm concerned, achieve our goals at the end of the year because I would have loved to have played in a Final Four. I would have loved to have challenged for an NCAA championship, but that just never happened. So that's one of my biggest regrets because we did have the talent to make that happen, and we just never got there. But we did have a great journey. We did accomplish a lot. We didn't win a lot of games. We were just never able to get all the way there.
That Cal State Fullerton game, was that pretty much a fluke considering you guys were so stacked? It's one of those things where it's an adage in sports where anybody can beat anybody at any given day, correct?
Yeah, that wasn't good. We definitely underachieved there, and like I said, our goal was to get to a championship game. So as far as I'm concerned, regardless of what kind of season we had, our best year we were 29-2. We still underachieved at the end of the year. So it's one of my big regrets as an athlete. But I do appreciate what we accomplished. I appreciate my time at USF, which great professors. I learned a lot there. That set the foundation for the rest of my life as far as embracing the entire world. But athletically, we didn't quite get there.
Yeah, Coach Bob had you for most of your college career, and then Dan Bellomini came in. Talk about the differences in coaching styles between the two.
Well, Dan Bellomini actually took over for Bob my senior year, and Dan was great. As a matter of fact, Dan and Bob, Coach Bob and Coach Dan, they played together at USF and were great friends. So the coaching was very similar. The philosophies were very similar. Um, so we were successful. We had a little different team because we did lose not only Coach Bob, we lost Woodford Boys and James Hardy to the NBA. And that just allowed for guys like Doug Jimison, Wallace Bryant, Kenny McAllister, and those guys to step up, Billy Reed. So we had other guys step in and kind of fill that gap. So it was a different team, but the same philosophy. We still won the conference, but once again, we didn't quite get there postseason.
A little bit frustrating for you personally, since you're a Don alum, that we haven't seen San Francisco on the map in basketball in a really, really long time.
Yeah, it's really hard to watch. We had some misfortunes with our program, which was dropped for a couple of years. It came back, and uh, a little team called Gonzaga snuck in there and have been a thorn in our side for the last 20 years. So um, we're still coming back. We are inches away from getting back to where we should be, and that's winning our conference. So that's been fun to watch. over the last 10 years that I've been back at USF.
Former Bulls champion and NBA center Bill Cartwright joining me behind the mic. We're going to take a quick time out and come back with more right after this.
Brought to you by Slugmaster, turning batters into hitters. Log on to slugmaster.com for a dealer near you.
Experience the power of advanced skincare technology at LA Tan in Lisle. LA Tan in Lisle is proud to offer red light therapy, the revolutionary red light technology that targets all layers of the skin. The 5 distinct red and near-infrared wavelengths carry unique benefits and maximizes the potency of your treatments, unlocking your skin's true potential. Embrace the future of skincare and discover a new you with red light therapy at LA Tan in Lisle in Maple Square. Call 630-810-5900 to book your appointment today. 630-810-5900. LA Tan in Lisle. Look good, feel good.
Welcome back. Bill Cartwright, former Bulls center and NBA champion, joining me on Behind the Mic. I'm Gary Zahara, your host. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and the notification button so you know when we've got the new episodes coming out. We've got some great shows coming up. Summertime is hot here in Chicago, and so far having a great conversation with Bill. Bill, okay, 79 draft. You in a pretty good class with Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, and if some Bulls historians probably know this, and if they don't, you almost became a Chicago Bull. Rod Thorne was looking to trade Artis Gilmore to Portland for Maurice Lucas, and he wanted to select you, but the Bulls ended up taking David Greenwood, and you ended up going to New York. I'm probably going to ask you this question twice, but does your career maybe take a different turn if you come to the Bulls in 79 instead of when you came in 87, 88?
Well, yeah, well, it would have been a different turn because I did learn a lot of lessons in New York. I felt like I was ready to go when I got there. But the starting center for the Knicks at that point in time was Marvin Webster. So, unfortunately for Marvin, and fortunately for me, Marvin got sick. He had hepatitis. So, Marvin didn't play most of that year, and I ended up being the starting center. And I ended up, good or bad, second in the league in minutes played. So, I learned some lessons, and this is what I learned. I could really score, but probably not such a great defender until I had to learn how to guard somebody. But we had formidable people back then, and all the bigs were a problem with. My first game, I think, was against Daryl Dawkins. Then you got Artis rolling in there. Then you got Dave Collins rolling in there. Then you got Cream rolling in. If you were in Golden State, you had Clifford Ray, and his backup was Robert Parrish. You had Jack Sikma, you had Dan Issel. So we had a lot of really established centers back then. And as a rookie, you had to find what their game was. And really how to play in the league. So it was a great time to learn, but by fire, because I was pretty much thrown out there, and had to learn on your own.
Yeah, the majority of your career you spent in New York, but you had 3 years with the Hall of Fame coach Red Holzman. Talk about how Red molded you and made you become a bit more better defensively.
Red was great. Hal Fisher, and Butch Beer, they were our coaches, and they just really allowed me to just play, and that's what Red believed. And just play as hard as you can play. So he was great for me. He just put me in the situations to succeed or fail. Because he knew I was coming hard every game and trying to do the best I could do. So for those years, it was great times.
Yeah, Bernard King as well, and then in a couple of years they drafted Patrick Ewing. You look at Bernard King's injury, and then Patrick Ewing, you got injured. Did you see the writing on the wall when Patrick came and when Bernard got injured? Did you feel that you might have lost an opportunity in New York?
We did lose an opportunity because I was hurt. And now that you think about it, my injury was so silly because I would work out a lot during the summer and I ended up stepping on a pebble, really small rock. And that rock, small rock, ended up developing because it wouldn't stop into a stress fracture. So, got a stress fracture. After Red left, we got UB Browns. So now I'm injured for the first time in my career. I think in the 4 years when Red was there, I probably missed, well, my first 2 years, I didn't miss a game. So I missed maybe 10 games, and then now I'm out. And they did not pin my foot the first time. So I came back, training camp, shot one shot, shot a hook, landed, it popped. So basically, I missed 2 years of basketball with my foot. They pinned it, and it was fine after that. But it set me back mentally. Physically, I was going to be fine because I ended up healing, but just slowed that momentum down. And that's when Bernard came. That's when Patrick came, Mark Jackson, Kenny Walker. We had an all brand new team. So our coach was UB Brown. Um, and we could never gather the momentum because everybody was always out. Bernard played great. Uh, it was great playing with him because he was probably the most prepared athlete I had ever seen. Uh, Bernard used to give massages. Nobody got massages, and he would drink this some kind of honey drink before the game. So he had the same game prep every game. He was ready to rock and roll. So it was great to be on a team with him because he was fired up every game and he played to a really high level every time on the floor. So it's just unfortunate that we weren't able to keep all of us healthy at the same time.
It feels like Hubie got the short end of the stick on that one because he inherited a team that was injured a lot, and so I'm going to ask you what are the main differences between a Red Holtzman and a Hubie Brown?
Well, the main difference is that UB has really orchestrated everything: transition, half court offense, defense. Um, so every single thing was spelled out on the floor, and he had certain guidelines he wanted you to follow. So if you didn't follow him, he'd tell you, you can do what you want, but it better work. So he was a good teacher of basketball. I liked him. I liked him because UB was an old time coach. He worked his way up, coached in junior high school, college, NBA. So he worked his way up and earned his position. So I had a lot of respect for that. And um, it was great. It was great. So just unfortunate that we were not able to get over the hump.
So Patrick comes in with a lot of fanfare, big man, touted highly out of Georgetown. You're practicing against him, playing with him, and then you had your battles in the three championship years and those big rivalry games with the New York Knicks. Talk about Patrick Ewing's skill. What did you see that you didn't see from anybody else?
Patrick, I was there when he got there. So Patrick, I can promise you, Patrick wasn't a great scorer. My first practice against him, we had a nice collision. I busted his lip, and the
Was
next
that the
day,
famous? Was that the famous Bill Cartwright elbow?
oh, it was something like that. We were physicals, both physicals. So, and I can remember that, and because I wanted to talk to him um, the next day because I told him, hey, look, we're on the same team. We're both aggressive players. We're gonna have some collisions, but let's just work together. And it's nothing personal out here. And Patrick, he was appreciative of that, just as I would be to have somebody who was talking to me, and we were going to get better together. So since that day, we've been really good friends. And Patrick, to his credit, uh, worked his ass off and made himself into a really great scorer, made himself into a jump shooter. He was always a really good defensive player, great instincts. So he was fun to be on the team with. So, um, but as you see, he was the new jack kid and I was the old guy on the team. I think I don't know, maybe in my late 20s when he got there. So I was really old. So
The OG. So did you think that dynamic worked, especially when you're older and he's coming in younger? If you're both maybe the same age, do you think it's more of a clash and not really getting along, and maybe you get moved earlier than you did?
well, there was no clash because I think that we both had a basic understanding of each other. And plus, Patrick's a good dude, man. So he's just going to work really hard. I'm coming same way every game. And it's just more of, because we did play a couple years together, 3 years together. And um, that ended when UB left and Bob Hills had a short stint after UB, and then we got Rick Pitino. So that was a new beginning for the Knicks, and it was my end uh, for the Knicks and headed to Chicago.
And Rick Pitino certainly liked that up-tempo style, something you weren't really familiar with because you're obviously a big man likes playing in the post. So we go right to that second controversy for the Chicago Bulls. Oakley gets traded for you in the summer of '88. You come in. Jordan hated it because he lost his best friend, his protector. You come in. You stood up to him and said you weren't going to be pushing me around. Did you? Was it good to have an advantage again, being 31 years old and being a veteran in the league? Do you think you would have had more of a problem being a younger center like the first couple of years, and say you got traded when you were a younger player? Do you think that would have bothered you more than it did when you came over to Chicago?
Well, okay, there's a couple factors. One, I just got done playing 9 years in New York. So if you play in New York, you're going to be pretty thick skinned. Nothing's going to bother you.
Right.
I've already had my character challenged many times, and nothing's going to bother me. And also, we were a young team, and being a old school guy, um, if there's Oscar Robertson, if there's Kareem, if there's Julius Erving, I play with Earl Monroe, Marvin Webster. So if I got somebody older than me, I'm probably listening to them. But these were all young guys. These are all young jack kids. So they have no voice in my mind and what I'm doing because that's just how I grew up. I'm not listening to you. You listen to me. I'm older than you. So that was more my mentality. I wasn't worried about anything. We had good coaches then. I came with Doug Collins. I played against Doug. Phil was there. I played against Phil. Jerry Krause was great to me when I was there. So I was pretty confident and comfortable. And like I said, I wasn't worried about anything. I just knew I was coming the same way.
How many stern conversations did it take? One conversation with Michael for you to say, "Hey, listen, let's put this together. Let's make a run. Let's do this. I'm here to do a job." Or was it did it take a certain amount of time for you guys to kindly get together and gel?
Well, there was no great conversations. We didn't do that. There was no meetings of the mind. I had my own mind. And I'm coming pretty much the same way every day. So I'm not a nonsense kind of guy. Um, I was fortunate when I was a kid that um, it's like being in high school, it's like being in college. Your seniors led the way, and you kind of listen to them. So, like I said, I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried about what anybody had to say. Um, there's not going to be any confrontation. Guys don't do that. So there was none. There was no conversation other than I'm coming, I'm here, and let's just win some games. And like I said, I thought that Doug handled himself really well. Um, and we had a good young team, man, an opportunity to do something special.
Yeah, talk about that coming together with the growth of the young Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant and the athleticism, and you come in, like you said, you're the OG, and you had Jordan, who was just absolutely phenomenal, and how you guys just gelled so quickly and get into the Eastern Conference Finals, and trying to get over that hump. What was, in your opinion, what got you over the hump for that start of the three-peat?
Well, we didn't get over the hump. We still lost to first year we lost to the Pistons again. We had a good team, uh, but we weren't ready to beat anybody. It was Horace's second year, it was Scotty's second year. I can pretty much guarantee you Scotty had trouble making a 15-foot jump shot, let alone anything else. He was athletic as all get out, but we were forming the foundation for our team. In our second group of starters, our bench. So
Did you feel? I know you got over the hump eventually, but what I'm saying is those first couple of years, did you feel that you had something special, that you were building up to it, and that you could see something positive happening down the line?
yeah, of course, because we were right there, and we did have a good team. Uh, but I think the fact that we had a traditional team with Doug, and then after the first year, Phil took over, and we had more of a non-traditional team where um, guys were allowed or coaches were allowed to use their expertise. Of course, we put in the legendary triangle. Um, Johnny Bach had our defense. Um, so we had more of a system of play of basketball instead of a traditional system of play. And it was just a great atmosphere of teaching and learning. So it was great. It was like going to the classroom every day. So it was fun. We had a great strength and conditioning coach with Al Vermeil, who I loved. So it was great. So um, after we lost our second year, Phil's first year to Detroit again, um, we really committed ourselves to working out, getting stronger physically, which allowed us to be stronger mentally. And after that year, nothing was going to stop us. we ended up beating Detroit in Detroit in their controversial game where they walked off the floor. And I guess we were supposed to be upset. I could care less.
Because it was that way back in the day. So you didn't shake hands back in the old NBA where you're hugging guys and giving them fist pounds. You guys would probably want to go in the hallway and beat the crap out of each other.
I played 16 years. I've never shaken my opponent's hand. So
Really? Wow.
I still don't. That's something new. I guess you got to hug and kiss the guy that just tried to beat the hell out of you. I don't get that. But our job is to beat them however way we can. And all I knew is that we were off to play for a championship against the Lakers. So that's all I cared about.
And at the time, Bill, I was a huge Magic Johnson fan. When he came in '79, I followed him from Michigan State. I was a Laker fan. I had the cons. I played high school basketball. I wore his shoes. And then I was very conflicted when the Bulls and the Lakers faced in that '91 final. And then when Sam Perkins hit that shot, I was like, oh boy, and then I made a bet that I ended up losing terribly because you guys ran off 4 in a row. So I thank you because you brought a championship to the city, but it certainly hurt for my ego because I was a big Laker fan at the time. Real quick before we move forward, Bill Cartwright joining me, former Bulls center, NBA champion, and also author of Bill Cartwright, My Life, Living Life at the Center. Looking forward to seeing that book. He's on a book tour on the West Coast right now. BillCartwright.com. If you want to get the book, go to his website as well. Real quick, Doug Collins, the man, Doug Collins, the coach.
Doug Collins, the man. Can't answer that. Doug Collins, the coach.
Okay.
And player. Awesome. I love Doug. Doug is a great coach. I enjoyed playing for him. Great insight, really smart. So his intensity level is off the charts. So I can't see enough positive things about Doug.
We'll talk on the three-peat here. So the battles against New York, you going back to New York, obviously getting the boos because Patrick was there. Everybody loved Patrick. I mean, how motivating was it for you personally to be able to battle the Knicks in those 2 series and in the conference finals when you guys were down 2-0 to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and finally win a championship? How motivating was it for you? And did you feel a little bit of I don't know, did you feel bad or because you spent most of your career in New York, or was it, like, screw you, you guys got rid of me and we're going to stick it to you kind of thing?
What did I feel? Nothing. I was done playing for the Knicks. I enjoyed my time there. I love New York. New York's a great city. So it wasn't about that. It was just about our goals and knocking the Knicks out of the playoffs was just part of it. It was the same team. Rick Pitino was still there, so it was nice to wave at him as we win that series and move on. So, but I wasn't going to put any energy into disliking somebody. I was more focused on the positive energy of the expectation of what we had next.
So you win that 3 championships. Michael retires, goes to play baseball. Tragically, his father gets murdered. And then we go to 94 in that series. The Pippen Kukoc last second shot, 1.8. You played a part there as I rewatched the video several times of you sitting on the bench talking to Scotty. Give me your thoughts on how you felt. Did Scotty act childish? Was he entitled? Did you agree with it? And, if it happened to now when you were playing, what would you do?
Well, I would try to stop it earlier, but look, for me, when thinking at the time, this wasn't the time for that. And that's what I was trying to tell Scotty on the bench. It's not the time for that because it was too important to let this happen. because Pip was our leader. Pip was our best player. Even when MJ was there in a lot of different games, Pip was our best player. He was definitely our best defender and could play every position on the floor. So that season for Pip, that was his best year. And he made a mistake. That's what it came down to. He made a 60-second mistake that has been with him the whole time. But Pip was a great teammate, good person. At one point in time with the Bulls, he lived right across the street from me. So I always enjoy spending time with him, and he's got great thoughts. So it's just something that happens in life, and you learn from it, and you move along. But um, definitely the wrong time to have that happen. But interesting enough, we won that game. Tony Kukoc
Right.
makes it 3 to win the game. So even with the fact that Pip made a mistake, even with the fact that we lose the league's best player, and I think that's the thing is for that team, because Tony Kukoc that year played great. Pip played great. BJ Armstrong played great. And those guys really came out of themselves, and we established ourselves. That was probably Phil's best coaching year. So we had a great year. We had a great bench. Um, so everything was really positive, and I think that gets really overlooked because of that one 60-second error. But we did play for the Eastern Conference Championship. Had we had our best player, I think we would have won that championship pretty easily that year.
So you win that game, you tie it, and then you go to Game 5 in New York. And I've been a high school and college basketball official for 36 years, so I don't like throwing my brotherhood under the bus. But Hugh Hollins, talk about the call. I don't know. I didn't really see if you had any opinions on it, but talk about that call in Game 5 and how it just changed everything. Not so much for the franchise, because you probably knew that Michael was going to come back, but it certainly put you guys behind an 8 ball, and obviously you ended up losing in Game 7.
Well, yeah, you said it all, because I actually had the ball. I had the rebound. Yeah, the whistle was blown, and everybody wanted to know, what the hell are you calling? And he called a foul, called it on Pip. And we're like, okay, shouldn't that happen about 10 seconds ago? So I'm not sure. It's just one of those things that happens that the questions will never be answered, because the call wasn't overruled. The call stood. It was made extraordinarily late, as the latest call of maybe my career. So it can't be explained. And, when stuff like that happens, you always expect to be able to overcome that if you're destined to win. But we couldn't have overcome it. That was just too much at the wrong time. And I think even Phil in his press conference afterwards said something of the same, that he's never seen it. Nobody's ever seen it. You haven't seen it, and haven't seen it since. So very bizarre.
Interesting, because the foul is called, and you wonder what's being said on the floor. And Phil, very few times in his Chicago coaching career was animated, but he was certainly animated after that call. Can you let us know what was said on the floor. I'm sure there was a lot of expletives and people talking to Hugh, Scotty, Phil. Maybe you said something. Did Hugh say anything to you guys, or did he just turn his back and walk away?
No, because we had never seen this before. And, um, and like I said, what you want to do is to feel like you have an opportunity to recover from a drastic mistake. And one mistake's not going to cost the game. And I'm not a believer in that. That one mistake can cost the game because you have so many other choices during the game, better choices that's going to decide the game. But this one did. This one decided the entire game. And I've never been in that situation before, but um, it will always go down as the Hugh Holland's call. So
You
there's
get
nothing.
after that year, you get traded to Seattle. You finish career with the Seattle Supersonics. Injuries, and you decided it's time to hang it up. When did coaching come into play, and who reached out to you?
Well, I was done with Seattle, and I actually uh, was working in grad school. So I finished that and got my master's. And I was all set to be a business person. That's what I had been gearing for the last 16 years, to have my own business. So out of my genius, I decided that I was going to be a McDonald's operator. So I was on course for that, to go to McDonald's U and get my own store and then hopefully stores. And then I would just be off to the races.
You come back here to Oakbrook, right? McDonald's U, and learn the trade, correct?
Well, yeah, well, it started really in San Francisco, which is one of their main offices was there. So, but yeah, that's where I was headed. And then I got a phone call from Jerry Krause, who asked me if I'd be curious about coaching. And I was thinking that I'm pretty happy. I'm in Sacramento and I'm coaching my kids' teams and I'm hitting golf balls and getting ready to have my own business. And he actually called me back twice and asked me, and then I felt like maybe that's what I should be doing because I really liked coaching those kids, uh, my kids, and I coached. My first coaching job was to coach a girls team, middle school girls team,
Oh my
and
God, the patience you need for that, Bill. Jesus.
no, it was great.
Oh.
It was so much fun. So
All those emotions, Bill. Come on.
nah, they were great. They were um, they were just fun to be with. They were pretty easy to coach, and so I ended up coming back from Sacramento, and now here I am back in Chicago. The beauty part is that the same coaching staff was there, and what I discovered as a coach is that I was probably more tired coaching than I was playing because I had a lot to learn. Um, luckily, I had the best teacher in the world. We had great teachers at period, but I had the greatest guy to teach from, which was learn from, which was Tex Winter, along with Phil and I think Jimmy Rogers was there and Jim Clemens was there, and Frank Hamlin ended up coming there, who was awesome. So I had great coaches to learn from. Um, and it was a lot. It was a lot to learn about how to win basketball games, how to set up a defense, why do things work in an offense, why are we doing what we're doing, why are we going to win, So after watching them and learning from them, it was great. And plus, we had basically most of my same teammates there also. So I was really comfortable.
You played with MJ, won 3 championships, then you're coming back to coach. Explain the difference being on the other side coaching Michael Jordan.
Yeah, it's like I said, it was the same staff. So to be able to coach, I knew what I wanted to coach. I coached the bigs for the most part, but to be able to, as an assistant coach, you get assigned to different teams. So now you got to do a scouting report. You're delivering the scouting report to the coaching staff and the team. So it's not really that hard to be able to get up there and talk about it. Team strengths, weaknesses. So it's just something that I had seen. But like I said, I had other great coaches to watch, emulate. So I think you know me by now. I wasn't worried.
Okay, it leads me to my next question. Did you feel it was you got an opportunity to be the head coach for the Bulls? Did you feel it was a no-win situation with all the young Thundercats that were coming in and the way the NBA was starting to change a little bit?
Well, yeah. When I came in, we had probably the youngest team in the league, and that's after Phil left, obviously, and we were just starting, and then Tim Floyd came in, and I thought that Tim did a really good job of being able to orchestrate all these young kids, um, because basically you're starting over, basic fundamental skills, um, guys learning how to play. Uh, Guys learning how to function for the most part, we had 2 guys who just came out of high school with Tyson Chandler and Eddie Curry. But we had just a really young team, and it was a really tough job. So when Tim left, I took that over. I enjoyed my time, my short time as a coach, but I was always really appreciative of that. Uh, to have that opportunity, and I knew it was going to be tough, especially since at that point in time, Tim not only left, but shortly after that, Jerry Krause was let go, and we got a new GM with John Paxson. So I knew it was going to be a tough situation to remain the head coach, but um, for me, I viewed it as a great opportunity. For me, I viewed it as an opportunity to learn. This was my journey. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to make the best of this and what I can do. And uh, after it ended, we just moved on to the next project.
Bill Cartwright joining me for a few more minutes here. Got a couple more questions before our final segment in a word. BillCartwright.com if you want to get his book, Bill Cartwright, Living Life at the Center, with a foreword by his good friend Dusty Baker, former Los Angeles Dodger World Series champion. Okay, couple more questions here, and I'm sure you're going to shoot it to me straight. The Last Dance, I know that you weren't too impressed with it. Do you think it was a fair portrayal of the team at that time, the organization, and some of the players?
Well, let's go first things first. I'm a pretty orderly guy.
Yeah.
That's bill-cartwright.com.
Well, sorry, Bill.
Okay. So,
Bill-cartwright.com.
There we go.
And I'm going to put that in the link down in the description of the video when we're done as well. So,
yeah. And Last Dance was one person's idea of what happened with the Chicago Bulls. So, and I find it to be humorous, but it's understandable because look, you're the star of your own life, just like me, just like everybody else. So their version's going to be a little bit different. Mine's going to be probably a little more positive because the Bulls didn't win 6 championships. They were the team of the 90s. Is winning a championship hard? Yeah, probably.
winning 3 in a row. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah, so, but you're going to have some obstacles. Nothing's easy, nothing is worthwhile. So I just find a lot of humor in that. Now, my teammates, they didn't, but, if you're talking about your life, winning championships, every single person's story is going to be different. So, like I said, I was more thinking that we won. I'm pretty happy. For me, it was more, this was my 12th year and we'll be able to win my first championship. So I'm very happy. And then be a part of that 3 teams and then come back a coach on the last 2 teams. So I got 5 of the 6 rings. So for me, I'm pretty happy. So for the Last Dance, I don't know. It's kind of a U-Haul's go. Why wouldn't he be happy? So that's why I find a lot of humor in the fact that, of course, winning championships hard. Of course, being able to get 14 guys to play in and be the number 1 team in the world, well, not in the world, in the United States. I like the fact that NBA says the world champion, but it's not. So it's U.S. champion. So, but it was great fun being a part of that.
MJ was the star, obviously. He was the man in the Bulls. Those 3 championships, you had a lot of guys who contributed off the bench and some moves made by Jerry Krause. He brings in Cliff Livingston. You get Bobby Hansen, coming back in that game 6 when you guys were down by 15 points. So, yeah, everybody contributed. I just think that what I've heard and what I've seen and the feeling I got when I watched The Last Dance was, I thought maybe Michael thought that he needed to carry it and be the man, and this is me and it's my team, and I understand he's the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest player in basketball history. But do you think we'll ever know the truth of what happens behind the scenes, like the first 3 championships, what the real stories were? You think anybody will come out and ever do that?
Well, I'm not sure what stories you want to come out.
Right.
But I do like the fact that it's an acknowledgement that our guys were awesome. MJ just happened to be the best player on the planet at that time. Pitt played great. Chap Paxson, Horace Grant, PJ Armstrong, Scott Williams, Stacey King, best shooter on the planet, Craig Hodges. We ended up getting another best shooter on the planet with Trent Tucker, Bobby Hansen, Jed Bushler. The list goes on and on of guys that made contributions to our championship. But we're playing against Portland. Bobby Hansen comes off the bench. We're down by 16 points, makes 2 threes.
Mm-hmm.
So he's already earned his way just from that right there, along with Jed Bushler, who played a significant role. Steve Kerr. So yeah, we had some guys on those first 3 that made significant, along with the other 3. came in with when we ended up getting another Hall of Fame player with Tony Kukoc coming on the floor, Dennis Rodman. Um, so look, to have a great team, if you're a Hall of Fame coach, which Phil Jackson is, and you need Hall of Fame players. And I think that with the acknowledgement that he just gave of Jerry Krause, he had that. He had the weapons to get it done, but he also had the formula to get it done. So we had it all. We had great organization. We had great leadership with Jerry Reisdorf, Jerry Krause, great coaches, great strength and conditioning coach with Al Vermeil, and we had great players. What didn't we have? So we were geared to win at that point in time.
All the battles with the Pistons and Dennis Rodman. Did you ever think that Dennis Rodman would be a Chicago Bull?
Dennis Rodman was really came to us through Jimmy Stack, who made that suggestion, which shook a lot of people. I won't tell you who, but it wasn't a very popular idea. But to Jerry Krause's credit, he just allowed him to do the research on him. And the reality is that all of Dennis Rodman's teammates loved him and coaches. That this was only a detriment to himself. So once we got him, you know, we're like, wow, we got this great athlete who can guard, who can get about 16 rebounds a game. Really selfless guy. So yeah, we want this dude. And he was great, outside of maybe a few hiccups where he didn't come to practice. We were able to keep him on course for the most part, but
Well, he needed to spend 48 hours in Vegas, Bill, and get his, blow some steam off, right?
yeah. And what other team that can figure that out other than the Bulls with Jerry and Phil being able to figure out that nightmare because he could disappear there for a minute, but I'm not going to say we're the only team that would have allowed him to come back, but yeah, that's probably true.
Okay, point blank. You've seen the videos, heard the stories about Jordan in practice. Was he as big as an asshole he was portrayed with battling you guys in practice and talking and all that other stuff?
That's little kid stuff for me. So
Okay. All right.
when that stuff happened, and these guys are talking ridiculous at practice, I would step off. And you guys go at that nonsense.
You just kind of look at him and shake your head and be like, all right, come on, let's go, right?
Yeah, that's like I said, in a short period of time, you think you know me. So I'm not going to waste time with that. And
Okay.
besides, I was the old guy, so I didn't have enough energy for that kind of nonsense.
You didn't talk any smack during your time at the Bulls or New York? No smack talking on the floor at all, Bill?
You don't hear of any smack talking from what did Artist Gilmore do any smack talking or
I don't know. Did he? Or Reggie Theus,
no?
maybe? Quentin Daly, Orlando Woolridge?
No, I'm talking about guys who are older, man. That's not what we do. We just play, and if something happens on the floor where you do something, we just kind of uh, take care of our own business. You tell the referee, "Hey, look, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it myself." And that's what you did. But most guys who are smack talking, they're not going to do anything.
Okay, it leads me right into the final question of our segment here. Your opinion, your thoughts on today's NBA versus your era.
Well, that's easy. There's nobody in my era that likes this basketball, period. So, doesn't make any sense. It's outside out. So it doesn't work for us. Not that the guys are not talented. They are extraordinarily talented. They're gifted. Um, we appreciate their athleticism and their ability to shoot the ball. Um, everybody appreciates their paycheck, but nobody likes how they play.
Would a 7-1 Bill Cartwright in today's game be pulling up, hitting threes?
Uh, Probably, I'm hoping I'd be smarter enough to know that at this day and age, you can't touch anybody. So I could drive to the basket, and I don't know, maybe I can get fouled about 10 times a game and go to the free throw line. So um, I would certainly hope I would be uh, use that same kind of wisdom. I do know that there's going to be at one point in time where there's going to be a successful team and they're going to start throwing the ball into the post. And that person's going to be a genius. So just write it down. They're going to start posting up. That coach is going to be a genius. He's probably going to the Hall of Fame. So we'll see what happens.
Is that coach going to be Bill Cartwright?
Since I'm going to be 68 this year, probably not. But it's going to be somebody.
All right, okay. We're going to take a final timeout. Our segment In a Word with Bill Cartwright coming up right after this.
Experience the power of advanced skincare technology at LA Tan in Lisle. LA Tan in Lisle is proud to offer red light therapy, the revolutionary red light technology that targets all layers of the skin. The 5 distinct red and near infrared wavelengths carry unique benefits and maximizes the potency of your treatments, unlocking your skin's true potential. Embrace the future of skincare and discover a new you with red light therapy at LA Tan in Lisle in Maple Square. Call 630-810-5900 to book your appointment today. 630-810-5900. LA Tan in Lisle. Look good, feel good.
Brought to you by Slugmaster, turning batters into hitters. Log on to slugmaster.com for a dealer near you.
Great conversation with Bill Cartwright, former Bulls center, 5-time NBA champion, 3 as a player, 2 as a coach. Bill-Cartwright.com for his book, Bill Cartwright, Living Life at the Center, with a foreword by Dusty Baker. Get on the website, get the book. I'm looking forward to reading it. Saw some excerpts online. Funny stuff, down to earth, right in your face, speaks the truth. No bullshit from this man. Bill, thanks for your time so far. It's been a great conversation. I hope you enjoyed your time as well. One thing I wanted to ask you, always the unorthodox shooting style in your jump shot. How did that come about, and who taught you that? Was that self-taught, or did somebody teach you that?
Well, my shot changed over the years. I'm not really sure how that happened, but I think it would be curious to have you see me shoot as a Nick and then to shoot as a Bull. So it's just something that happened. I don't recommend it. People are like, yeah, I used to emulate your free throw. And I'm like, don't do that. You're just going to hurt yourself. So, um, can't explain it. I'm not going to try, but
It worked, though, right? It worked. So
yeah,
you did hit some big
worked.
shots as a Chicago Bull, so we're not complaining.
Yeah, so yeah, it happens.
All right, our final segment, In a Word with Bill Cartwright. Bill, I'm going to ask you a series of questions or give you names and phrases. If you can answer it in a word, fine. If not, expand as long as you want to. Here we go. In a word with Bulls champion Bill Cartwright. Bill, in a word, growing up in Sacramento.
It was great. It was great. Unbounded, fun, friends, sun. Loved it.
Playing at University of San Francisco.
Learning, developing, being able to embrace the world. That's the University of San Francisco, diversity.
Playing in New York.
New York was, wow, big buildings, big city, Broadway, food, the biggest stage in America.
Patrick Ewing.
Just great guy, great person, great worker. Um, really enjoyed my time with him.
All right, this is a two-part question. You can answer it any way you want to. Playing in Chicago versus coaching in Chicago.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Playing was great. Coaching was great. Um, so I was just really very fortunate, and I always deemed myself as being supposedly to be there at that time. Interesting enough, while I was coaching the Bulls, Dusty Baker was coaching the Cubs, and Jerry Manuel was coaching the White Sox. Three Sacramento guys in Chicago. That's never happened, pal.
And probably never happen again. So, and what I wanted to ask you here, so the difference between the fan base. So when you said playing in Chicago, playing in New York, the fan base in New York, fan base in Chicago, a lot of battles. I'm from Chicago, spoiled having you guys win 6 championships in the 90s in my formative growing up in my 20s. But I got to assume New York's fan base is a lot more rabid than Chicago's, correct?
Different fan base. People in Chicago are fans. They're sports fans. They just love you. People in New York are opinionated. The most opinionated fans on the planet. So it's a different type of fan, but they're still fans. Both of them as athletes, they love you.
In a word with Bill Cartwright, Phil Jackson.
It was great teacher. He was a great thought master. He would give you things to think about. And for teams and individually, he definitely keep you balanced. So, great person to learn from.
Jerry Krause.
Jerry was great. And what I loved about Jerry is he and I are very similar. And that if Jerry liked you and loved you, he'd tell you. If he didn't like you, he'd tell you. So I always appreciated that. No, very, very, very straight.
So you feel he got a huge a bad rap here with the Last Dance, and especially when they honored him in Chicago when his wife was there and they booed and his wife got upset. Your thoughts on that?
Very poor. Look, Jerry traded for me and got me to Chicago. He hired me as a coach when I was hitting the throat. He helped me find Robert Sadaloff in Philly to repair my throat. I owe a lot to Jerry. So Jerry with me is, I owe him a lot. I owe him to my playing, coaching, and and personally my voice. So I love that guy.
All right, here we go. Shoot it to me straight. Michael Jordan.
Michael, great, one of the greatest players of all time. I'll tell you what, he was special. When I first got there, you couldn't double team him. He'd split it, drive to the basket. God, he must have done something great in his prior lives because no man has had that ability or talent. So it was it was fun being one of his teammates.
You say one of the greatest. Do you have a list, or is it just because you're an old school guy that you go by era? Do you have a greatest player on your list?
I think there's the reason why you're the greatest. So, and I'm a big guy. So, as you know,
Okay.
so my,
Kareem, Wilt, Bill Russell.
hey, you almost got my list.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm a Laker fan, so I like Kareem. I never saw Wilt play. Obviously, Wilt was a man among boys, at that time. But is Shaq on that list for you?
Well, look, let's just go to three.
Okay.
So, and there's got to be a reason why you're the greatest. So, Kareem, every level champion, uh, high school, college, NBA. He was the NBA scoring leader, 6 championships. Bill Russell, remember him? That guy?
Yeah. Yes.
So
He's
college,
with the Celtics. I was not a Celtics fan. So,
well, college,
yep.
couple championships. Um, Olympics, his first year in the NBA, what happens? I don't know, championship, 11 seasons. I'm sorry, 13 seasons, 11 of them champions. I don't think that's going to happen again. So, and then you have this other guy walking around who was Will Chamberlain. Uh, nobody's ever going to score 100 a game again. Nobody's ever going to average 50 a game and then lead the league in assists. Um, I think he's the only guy that's in the Hall of Fame in basketball and volleyball. So
Really? Wow.
to me, those guys, there you go. Those guys aren't going to happen again as far as accomplishment. So I'm not sure what criteria you have on to be the greatest. LeBron's got it. He's got a claim on it because he's the NBA leading scorer. So until you do something nobody else has done, you can't claim that.
So you got your three. Is the other two maybe is Akeem on that list? Who would be the other two to fill out a top five for you?
Well, those are my three.
Okay.
And the other guy that has a claim on it is probably LeBron. Like it or not.
Well, I'm talking strictly big men. Big men.
Oh, big guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably tough. Might have to think about that for a bit. And you got to remember is that guys like Artis Gilmore and this other guy, Julius Irving, and this other guy by the name of Oscar Robinson.
Right.
Uh, some of these guys played in the ABA, so their stats don't even count. And
George Gervin.
George Gervin.
Yeah.
So it's just really tough to. I mean, had Carl Malone maybe won some championships, we could throw him in there. Um, but Shaq, of course, I love. I had a chance to coach him in Phoenix, but let's just stick with the three. The three is enough.
Okay. It could be a conversation, another part two interview with Bill Cartwright down the line sometime. We'll talk, we'll get into greatest players and break that down. Two more questions in a word with Bill Cartwright. Bill, just want to talk about yourself. In a word, your career.
My career was great. I never expected to play 16 years. I was always very fortunate. Uh, Even though I was hurt for 2 years, for the most part, I was pretty healthy. Was lucky to play on some good teams. I was able to learn a lot of good lessons, and I would like to think that I was a good teammate in helping my other teammates along with their journey. Um, so, I was fortunate to have a family and 4 kids. Uh, had a good wife that took care of those household duties. I'm not sure how she did that with 4 kids, but So I was able to stay balanced that way. But I had a great journey from New York, Chicago, Seattle, all the way back coaching to Chicago, assistant coach at Jersey, in Phoenix. I coached in Japan. I coached the Mexican national team, and then made full circle all the way back to University of San Francisco, the #1 college on the planet. So um, it's been a good ride. Uh, I don't think it's over yet, but we're still out here plugging and having some fun.
You got plenty of time left on this earth, Bill. Okay, this is an easy one for you, I'm sure. And I remember we were setting up the interview. I'm assuming I heard your wife in the background. So, final question in a word: your wife, Sherry.
Yeah, Sherry and I knew each other when I was in junior high school. We dated our first date in I was a junior in high school, and we've kind of been together since then. So,
Was she drawn to you, or were you drawn to her? Or what's the story?
well,
Does she?
we each have their own stories. So that's I think you know about that. But for the most part, I'm pretty, uh, been allowed to do what I need to do to be an athlete and take the time to be able to do that, to be gone all day to work out, to be gone uh, for weeks at a time to play. So that takes a special person. And, um, luckily she is that person. So um, I've always been kind of lucky that way. So
It's kind of like having that extra teammate in life for you, right?
it's exactly like a teammate. But, those kids are really good. And now we have grandkids. Each one of my kids has 2 kids, so 8 grandkids. So now it starts all over again. It's just costing money. So we just deal with that.
Life is good. Life is good. Quickly, director of university initiatives at University of San Francisco. You like it? You love it?
It's great. Being at a university gives you energy. Those kids are really super smart. Where when we were in school, we were focused. Yeah, let's just say it. We were focused more on our athletics, our sport, and school was kind of second. So we were looking for to be excellent at a sport and just good students. Now these guys want to be excellent students and excellent athletes. So it's great to watch. Their mindset's a little bit different, but they're very open, and it's a great environment to be in. So I love being back at school and being around young people with those great young thoughts and energy. It's really rejuvenating. Uh, this is my 10th year back in school now. This is the longest I've ever been anywhere. So it's been pretty cool.
The book is called Bill Cartwright, Living Life at the Center, a forward by Dusty Baker. Bill-Cartwright.com is the book.
Perfect.
5-time NBA champion, 3 as a player, 2 as a coach, former Bulls center, Bill Cartwright. Bill, thanks so much for joining me. It was an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks for deciding to come on the show, giving it validity. And I look forward to maybe talking to you down the line if you write another book, or we've got some more to talk about. Like I said, maybe we'll break down the NBA and greatest players and talk about that stuff, have another conversation. But thanks so much. Continued success. Stay healthy. And on behalf of Chicago Bulls fans all over here in Chicago, all over the world, thanks for coming to Chicago those first 3 years and putting this franchise on the map.
Well, to me, life's a journey, and I've been fortunate that was my destiny to end up in Chicago and to have all these great things happen. So who knows? Maybe the Bulls can get back there. Maybe let's talk about that. How in the world that can happen?
They may need to change ownership, sell the team. I think. I think it's time for a regime change. White Sox and the Chicago Bulls, and I'm probably not the only one who says that in this town. So.
Wow. Well, I'm going to leave that alone. Yeah.
Bill-Cartwright.com, the book, Bill Cartwright, Living Life at the Center. Get that book. I'm looking forward to reading it. Bill, stay healthy. Look forward to talking with you. Let's stay in touch and take care of yourself.
Awesome. Feel free to call me anytime. I'm around. Go Dons.
Experience the power of advanced skincare technology at LA Tan in Lisle. LA Tan in Lisle is proud to offer red light therapy, the revolutionary red light technology that targets all layers of the skin. The 5 distinct red and near infrared wavelengths carry unique benefits and maximizes the potency of your treatments, unlocking your skin's true potential. Embrace the future of skincare and discover a new you with red light therapy at LA Tan in Lisle in Maple Square. Call 630-810-5900 to book your appointment today. 630-810-5900. LA Tan in Lisle. Look good, feel good.
Brought to you by Slugmaster, turning batters into hitters. Log on to slugmaster.com for a dealer near you.
My thanks to Bill Cartwright. Great conversation. Love having him on, and wish I had the camera rolling during the break, during when we were done. Talking about so much, even brought his wife Sherry in. So I think there's going to be a part 2 with Bill Cartwright talking about other guys. We forgot to ask about Tex Winter, Johnny Bach, all the coaches, what he did, his kids growing up playing sports, his family life. It just didn't want to keep him too long, but yeah, I think we'll definitely have a part 2 with Bill Cartwright. Bill-Cartwright.com. The book is Living Life at the Center. It's a foreword by Dusty Baker, one of his good friends. As he said, Dusty Baker, Jerry Manuel, and Bill Cartwright in Chicago at the same time. Sacramento guys, you'll never see that. Probably going to never see 6 championships for this organization, as we talked about at the end of the interview, until Jerry takes that long walk off a short pier and sells the Sox and the Chicago Bulls. Also forgot to ask him about Derrick Rose. And my thoughts, I don't think Derrick Rose needs a statue at the United Center. One MVP and a conference final does not make you one of the greatest to have a statue adorned in this town. I know he's a Chicago guy. He's a stud. He played great. He brought excitement back to this franchise. But because of Tom Thibodeau and his selfishness and maybe Derrick's not working hard enough to build his body up, the franchise has tanked, and we haven't seen anything like that since. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button. Our Instagram is @the1behindthemic. Our Facebook page is behind-the-mic. And if you want to go and get Bill's book, it's bill-cartwright.com. Leave him a comment. Also on his Instagram, it's Bill Cartwright Official, if you want to follow him as well. Summer fun. It's hot. Beginning of July. It's an early interview with Heather Marie and I. It's at 10 o'clock in the morning, Chicago time. July coming in with a scorcher. Summer of fun. Went to go see the Commodores and Spinners a couple of weeks ago. Great show. One of the original Spinners, one of the original Commodores was still there with the group, and interesting enough is they're just passing it down to the family. So that's real music. 50, 60, 70 years of this music. Not this crap you hear about guys who name themselves after calendar days, or Trailer, whatever her name is, who's a man-hater. That's not music. Love seeing these guys. Got some more concerts coming up in August. It's going to be fun. So we're also got some great interviews coming up, lining up. I'm really excited. Nick Searcy's going to be coming on from Justified. Found that out yesterday. Also probably get some more Chicago Bulls, trying to get Stacey King on as well. Leave a comment below if you have any suggestions of who you'd like to see on the show Behind the Mic. So for Heather Marie and for all of us here at Behind the Mic, thanks for watching.
Behind the Mic has been brought to you by LA Tan and Lisle. Call 630-810-5900 to book your red light therapy appointment. LA Tan. Look good, feel good. And Slugmaster, turning batters into hitters. Log on to slugmaster.com for a dealer near you. Behind the Mic is a Did He Go production, produced by Z-Force Media. Stage manager is Heather Marie. The executive producer of Behind the Mic is Eric Ferguson.